As the Prime Minister's time in office draws to a clumsy close, we can look ahead at who will get the top job next. Now, originally I believed that the Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy, stood a chance, but it now seems he's not even in contention and isn't likely to hold up in the leadership election. So we now know there are three main candidates for the predicted election: Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, former Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, and former Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner. Now, this lineup shows quite clearly that the days of a centre and even left-centre Labour are over. Now, after the party showing their true ability, or lack thereof, in such position under Starmer, the party is turning towards its roots in socialism. Angela Rayner herself said this in a recent Twitter post, writing, "Labour exists to make the working people better off." Now, I concede that socialism has occasionally brought some good to Great Britain, namely under Clement Attlee, the Prime Minister from 1945 to 51, succeeding and preceding Sir Winston Churchill, where the NHS was founded. However, time and time again, socialism has proved to be a mistake for our country. Just look at the IMF bailout in 1976, when the Socialist Labour government had requested $3.9 billion from the International Monetary Fund to save the plummeting pound after up to a 27% inflation rate. Yes, 27% the year prior. Or we could see what happened with British Leyland, the company founded to save the British car industry, yet became synonymous with wildcat strikes by employees, reducing production and causing consumers to turn to lower-cost Japanese cars, defeating the point of the £3.5 billion adjusted for inflation invested in it. And it's simply causing British companies to compete with one another, resulting in poor quality all round with a mere 2.35% profit margin. Not to mention countless others, such as British Rail and Utilities, which lost over £500 million annually, yet had rail fares rise by a whopping 87% between 1974 and 76. Not to mention the mess that was the British Steel Corporation, which lost about £145 million a year by 1978. So this seems to have become a question of which potential Prime Minister will be the least worst. Honestly, the competition is strong for last place, I can assure you. So if we start with Andy Burnham, well, where should we start? Preferably near the end, frankly. Wherever he can, Burnham seems to emphasise he has a socialist stance, yet he's a supporter of New Labour and a denouncer of nationalisation, according to his Wikipedia page. There seems to be more U-turns in his opinions than there are in the pipes in the back of Hannah Spencer's van. Yet, in his Labour 2015 leadership bid, Burnham pledged to renationalise the British railway system, as noted in the same Wikipedia page, and has recently pledged to, should he succeed Starmer as PM, put energy, water and housing and transport under stronger public control. Despite supporting proportional representation in the Commons, he has recently said that he would need to be in a manifesto and voted for in a general election, so is safe from that for now. Moving swiftly on to Angela Rayner, who, despite criticising Jeremy Corbyn, also identifies as a socialist, being on Labour's soft left. But before looking at her policies, let us examine her as a person. Now, to say that she criticised the Conservative Party in September 2021 would be an understatement. She said that, as reported by the Wikipedia page, quote, "We cannot get any worse than a bunch of scum, homophobic, racist, misogynistic, absolute pile of Banana Republic Etonian pieces of scum." End quote. To think that someone who could make such comments, only apologising after the tragic murder of Sir David Amess a month later, could be the British Prime Minister is disgusting. Now, politically, Rayner was the Deputy Prime Minister from the start of the Labour government in 2024 until September last year, after it came out she had underpaid £40,000 in stamp duty on a flat in Hove, although it was recently cleared of any wrongdoing by HMRC. Finally, we come to Wes Streeting, the individual who, in my opinion, is the least bad option for a potential Starmer successor. He's a former Health Secretary who resigned this month after losing confidence of the Prime Minister. Despite saying he was going to launch a leadership campaign, he's yet to do so and seems to be waiting for Andy Burnham's return to Westminster before he starts. Streeting, like Rayner and Burnham, is in favour of the European Union and voted to remain. He's come out and said that to rejoin the EU would be an objective of his, should he become Prime Minister, as reported by The Observer, and he sees leaving as a catastrophic mistake. Furthermore, Streeting seems to have some integrity as a person. This is shown explicitly by his choosing to resign from his post in Cabinet instead of serving a government he does not believe in.